Hey there, and welcome to That's Audacious, where we share entrepreneurial stories from amazing leaders to inspire and motivate you to be bold, brave, and audacious. I'm your host, Lauren Clement, the brand navigator, here to share stories that will make you say, well, that's audacious. Hello and welcome to another That's Audacious episode. I am so excited to be interviewing our amazing guest today, the fabulous Katrena Friel. Friel, I've got to get that right in terms of your surname. I love the way that you position yourself as an expert in helping other people become the expert. And today we're really going to dig into your journey in becoming a personal branding specialist. And I love the fact that every time we seem to talk, Katrena, we have so much in common with what we do and where we come from. I'm really looking forward to hearing your story. But for those listening, Katrena is a celebrated expert in guiding entrepreneurs towards mastery in their field of excellence. She's empowered clients for 25 years, drawing from her experience as an award-winning author, a sought-after speaker, and a TEDx presenter. And her unique Done-For-You program transforms dreams into reality in 90 days. So if you're listening to this and you're ready to really launch and you don't want to hang around anymore being hidden in the shadows, this is what you're after. She's the how that you've been waiting for. She provides the clarity and strategy you need to future-proof your business life. Katrena, welcome to the show. Can you please tell us, where did this all start? What made you go, do you know what? I really want to help shine light on other people. What was that moment like?
Well, I had left corporate and I was out there doing it. And no matter where I went, no matter what I was doing, whether I was training, coaching or speaking or whatever, there was always one person that would come up. I call them the shiny-eyed people. And they would come up and go, oh, I would just love to do what you're doing. And when you see a pattern in business, you sort of stop and you go, why are people saying that? And then I started to sort of think, well, how did I do what I do? And how do I do it? I don't even know, because everything's very intuitive. And, you know, you kind of arrive at these places. And anyway, I started to think, how do I do it? And I reverse engineer it back. And realised there was a whole bunch of mistakes, a whole bunch of down the rabbit holes I had gone, but what if they could avoid all of that? And started to put it all together and realised I had something that I could sell. And so, it began 25 years ago, me doing like group work where I sat down and over the sort of a 3-day retreat or a 5-day retreat, and I would unpack it all with them, get them to do everything, decide everything, and did it all in a group. And I would catch back up with them later on and go, so how's everything going? Where's the book? Where's the speaking gigs? Where's the website? Where's just everything? And they'd done nothing, absolutely nothing. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. I've just wasted my time, my breath. And they've got nothing from it. Like they did not go and implement. And that's when back 25 years ago, I realized a done-for-you model was the way to go. Mm-hmm. And what I'm pleased to see 25 years later, oh, my God, done for you. What a surprise. It's all coming back now because people realize that these early-stage startups need to have it done for them. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know where to start. Very easy to get overwhelmed, bogged down, doing all the wrong things. So that's where I started, done for you, and the rest is history. I've never deviated from that. I still do done for you one-on-one, and in 90 days I built the whole ecosystem for them.
It's amazing, isn't it? I know there's that story years ago, and I think it was Tony Robbins, when back in the day of, you purchase an online course, but it was a set of DVDs that would arrive in the post or videos or whatever. And they had it specifically that they'd recorded these 8 discs or whatever, and the last 2 discs were purposely left blank. There was nothing on them. And they sold thousands of these packs. And at the end of about a month or so, guess how many people called them up to say there's nothing on, disc 7 and 8 are blank, can you please send me the proper stuff? Yeah. They had like 2 people out of thousands that had purchased the package. Well, that shows you that people just don't implement. All the greatest intentions, but they don't implement.
No, and the stat still survives today that 75% of people never even open the online course, and of those that do open it, 95% don't complete. And so that story is exactly running to the stat.
Yeah, hasn't changed at all. So when you mention, startups, is it mostly people that are looking to either start a new business or a new service or a new community? What are the sorts of people that you're working with at the moment, Katrena?
So there's two types. So the first one is the one that will never fully appreciate what I do for them because they're still in their corporate job. They've got 10, 20, 30 years under their belt. I love them because we're going to run a dual strategy where they stay in the job. I make them happy in the now. Because they're now running this dual strategy where they're over here with me building it all and we're getting it done. And then eventually they can resign and cut back and do whatever. I love those people because they haven't wasted any time and they haven't wasted any money yet. The other type is that they've been in business, they've been flapping about, they've wasted 5 years and they've wasted 75 grand. And then they get to me, I do it all in 90 days, get them on and do the, work with them and they just go, oh my God, I wished I'd met you 5 years ago. And I'm like, sad about that. But guess what? They truly appreciate what I do because they realize the alternative.
Yeah, I love it. Now let's talk. One of the things I love about it, not only is the speed at which you work, but it's the tangible outcomes that you have. So there's a lot of people out there, when you think personal branding, they go, well, I'll design you a logo, or I'll come up with your colors, or I'll create you a wardrobe, or I'll do some photography for you, or I might build you a website. Yours is all encompassing. So yours is very strategic, very much a process where you tick these things and move on to the next stage. So you're getting stuff done as you go through. What do people end up with at the end, Katrena? What do they walk away with?
So day one is all about the whole business plan, what I'm building, why I'm building it, where the money is, where the money isn't. So within one day, their business acumen goes from 0 to 100, and my 25 years is just plowed into them, and their eyes are blown, their mind is blown, and they're like, okay, here we go. This all makes sense. And that day sounds intense, but it's not. It's a fun day. I'm unpacking them. I'm putting it all together, getting my head around what I'm dealing with here and what gold am I sitting on for them. Day two, that I pull the philosophy out of them. So they often don't even realize that what they've got inside of them. That's why it's becoming the expert. I'm going to position them, package them, price them as the expert in their field of excellence. So I pull that genius out of them, and that's my genius zone when I really look at it. I love that bit. That's just fantastic. And then there is the book outline. So the philosophy becomes the book outline. They go away and write the first shitty draft, get that to me as soon as possible. They walk away with a book, a keynote speech, which is like a TED talk for those that don't know. And then they'll get a website, all their social media set up, enough social media to post for a year, plus their signature program. Now, the signature program is 10 or 20K. This is where the money is. The rest, prior to that, it's all marketing. But we're selling a signature program. That's where you're selling. How many 20 grand programs do you need to sell to have a great year? And that's kind of where we're at. If you sold 20 of them, had 20 customers, would you be happy with the revenue? Yes, probably, for those starting out in their first, second year. Yeah, and so the rest of the 12 months, I've built the ecosystem in 90 days. The rest of the 12-month program is them out there doing it with me, holding space, coaching, mentoring, making sure that they're doing it right, how to do a free discovery session, how to get booked on a gig, how to do this, how to do that. It's all happening, and they're really doing it.
Yeah.
They're saying, I wouldn't do that. Don't do that. Don't say this. This is how to say it. Oh, my God. How to manage the book, how to do paid gigs, how to do non-paid speaking gigs, and what's the difference between the two, et cetera, et cetera. There's just hundreds of thousands of little mini lessons, I call them. But I only want to do it when they're at that spot, when it's now relevant.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just get overwhelmed, don't you? And then you don't take any action at all. Yeah. So in the world of personal branding and profile building, what are some of the big challenges, other than the obvious we've talked about with people not completing and not taking action? I'm talking more about if you wanted to create a thought leadership brand or a coaching brand or a services brand that stood out in the marketplace. You're now known, you've done your program and everything else. What are some of the challenges that people are facing in really building a standout, successful brand and business out of the work that you do with them?
The main thing is it's a mindset game. It really is. It's a mind game. And if they haven't dealt with the limiting beliefs and all the bullshit that's been built up inside of them over primary school, high school, college, work, bullying, all the things that have happened, if they haven't cleared all that, they will stop dead in their tracks all the time. So what I try to do is, while I am very practical, while I am building all these assets and we're training and coaching and mentoring and la, 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 there is an underlying therapeutic coaching that I'm doing, because I need them clean. I call it clean. This is where you come up against yourself and your own limiting beliefs. And I'm not talking just limiting beliefs. The main one is I'm not good enough. We've got to clear that. The other thing is I like to clear is balancing the masculine and the feminine energy, because if they've got only feminine energy, they'll never take their baby out into the world. They've really got to have access to their masculine energy, which is what is doing the speaking when you're on stage, which is what is you're using to do the training. It's what you use to get your message out into the world. It's not the feminine energy, it's the masculine energy. And so I try to, without going too woo-woo and too therapeutic and la la la, but there is a underlying thing that I do that most coaches are not doing, and that is the mindset piece, the therapeutic piece. Because time and time and time again, people just have it all. They've got their book, everything set up, and then they do nothing because their mind says, I'm not good enough. There's so many other people out there doing it. Good. That means there's a market. If there was no one out there doing business mentoring, I wouldn't start a business mentoring business. It means there's no market. But because there's thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people around the world doing what you do, fantastic. It means there's a big market. And business mentoring, nobody does it my way. That's my personal brand business that is personal to me. And that's what I want to create for you, and it's something unique. You have your own lane, but you're in a bigger lane. That's all there is. So
is that the first step, do you think, that people need to do in order to master that mindset, is to find their lane?
You can't, well, yes, I mean, we do that day one, but you can't do the therapeutic work prior to being in the business, because the business is going to trigger all the shit inside of you. So that's why we start. And within the 12 months of working with me, you will be triggered at all the levels. And that's great. You come to me and we do some work on that. So by the time you're actually alone and you're away from me, you've got all that clean and clear inside of you, and you can get on with it. Whereas
that self-belief part of it is so important, isn't it, to understand the value that you have. You are listening to the That's Audacious podcast. If you like what you're hearing, there are loads of other episodes that have got amazing guests on them. Find us on any of your favorite podcast channels and like and subscribe to make sure you get the next episode. Now, Katrena, you and yourself have built your own profile as well as a speaker and an author and so on. What are some of the challenges you personally have faced when you've been building a profile?
Well, when I first started and I did the dual, like I was transitioning from my corporate job over into my I hadn't transitioned into my business yet, I got ripped off 30 grand. And so that's been part of my initial, what happened to me at the beginning. And that's really why I probably offer so much value now, is because I paid 30 grand for nothing. And now when you buy my program, you get all this stuff. And it's all very, you either got it or you didn't, but you're getting it. I call it a show bag of value. It's a value stack. And so because of that experience, and because I was ripped off from my transition out of corporate straight away, that was my first, like, oh my God, geez, there's some sharks out here. Yuck. So I was just a little Bambi. I didn't even realize people were so nasty and so horrible. So, yeah, I think that was, I had to toughen up. I had to become a businesswoman, and you can't assume that everyone's got the right agenda. There is a lot of people out there with the wrong agenda, and there's a lot of people that will sell you shit that you don't need, that won't work for you, that's not right for you right now, and so on and so forth. So the thing about being straight out of corporate is you don't know what you don't know. And that's what a good business mentor is there, is to show you what it is you don't know at the time you need to know it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting, isn't it? Something similar has happened to me in the past, and I've paid lots of money for something and gone, well, was that really good value for money? I really don't think I got as much out of what was promised, and the thing that happens to you as a service provider when that goes on is you then make sure that every single time you are helping somebody, there's tangible value and positive outcomes in there that they can actually go, you know what? Not only was it worth paying you to do that, you're worth your weight in gold. Every single dollar has turned into, $8 or $10 or whatever, $20, $100. You've 10x my business because of what I'm doing with you. So let's talk for a little bit about the books that you help people write. What are some of the big myths or challenges or things that people think about becoming an author or becoming a speaker even, that you would like to bust and go, you know what, that's something the industry tells you and it's just not true?
The problem with authors, and we're talking about non-fiction, of course, because I don't worry about fiction writers, that's a whole different ballgame. But over here in the non-fiction world, the business book world, if you earn $5,000 from your book in a year, you're in the top 1% of authors. So you've got to put that into context. So then when people come and think they're going to make $1 million out of their book, it's really, really not going to happen like that. The book in isolation is pretty much bloody useless. There's 5,000 books going up on Amazon per day. How do you compete in that wash? You can't. So what we do is we say the book is really part of your rigor. It allows you to go deep and find out who you are, what your messaging is, what your language is, what is it what's the flow of what you're going to teach. It's the rigor. If you haven't done the rigor of writing a book, then you're not an expert. And the book still holds good today that an expert has a book. It just still, in this AI world, a book still has gravitas, which is friggin' amazing. But in isolation, it's pretty much useless. It's just flopping around out there in Amazon world, and you're hoping to God somebody goes, oh my God, this book is incredible. I found it. I searched and I found it. No, that ain't going to happen. So then you use your book. It positions you. It's a positioning statement. And so that's how we use it at Becoming the Expert, is it's a positioning statement. It opens doors for you. It also screams that you're the expert, whereas a lot of experts try and do it the other way around. They go and build the website, the signature program, the online program, and all the things, and then wonder why it's not doing much. It's because they're not positioned as the expert through what a book will give. So I'm still believing that. I'll argue that with pretty much anybody if they want to, that a book in isolation is basically useless. You've got to have the whole 7 streams of income included in that. And then the book, I don't really care if I give away the book. I use my particular book, this one book, Becoming the Expert, I use that in day 1 curriculum. So it's part of my day 1 value. And they walk away with the whole template. And other people sell them when they get off stage, like a T-shirt at a rock concert. And people the reason they do that is they want to take a piece of you home. And so that's what the book is. And you sign it, you feel like Oprah for a second, and then they go home. The thing about that is 95% of the people will never read the book. What I want the objective to be is you walk away with a free discovery session. Then I can sell them something. If I don't have that, I have no control over the process whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that you've really got to think about your book as being your IP being turned into a tool that you can use either to open doors or to convert people later into a sale in terms of a long-term client or all those sorts of things. It's the same almost with speaking as well, isn't it? That it's not, people don't go out there going, oh, I need to get Lauren Clement to speak. That they don't look for you. They look for what it is you can do for their people. And you need to have an approach or a unique method or something that they can take away well after the keynote and implement it into the workplace or into their community or whoever it is you're talking for, so that they implement that change. And it's got longer legs than just being you. Do you think that's one of the big things really in terms of, and I don't know what you think about the word thought leader, I know it's out there a lot and people sort of go, oh, you're a thought leader because you've been thinking a lot. I really like the idea of positioning yourself as a thought leader who is driving change, who is making something that is currently not working and turning it into something that's being better or more beneficial or whatever. Do you think this is where people start to get their mind a little bit blown, that it's not just about becoming an expert, as you're talking about, but it's talking about becoming the go-to that people turn to for advice or expert commentary? Or when does that light start to go on that people go, oh, this is bigger than me?
The minute you're positioned correctly.
Yeah.
So my book says position, package, price yourself correctly in your field of excellence. So the book positions you, the speaking positions you a certain way. Then it's all packaged up in your brand, your face, your name, your modality, your methodology, whatever it is. And then you're priced correctly, because again, a lot of what people do is they do the positioning and the packaging and then price yourself like a VW. Who wants to buy a VW? Everyone wants to buy the BMW. So we price you as a BMW as a reflection of where you sit, positioned and packaged in the marketplace. So again, pricing is a whole thing that I have to work on with my clients, because they come with very low self-worth, self-value. They don't understand how it's priced in the market. I've got 20 years experience of seeing it all. And I tell you what, the more expensive you are, the better.
Yeah. And it certainly, again, just your price can position you, can't it?
It does. And it absolutely does. If you're cheap, then you're cheap.
Yeah.
And I don't want to buy cheap, because that sounds like it's going to break the first time I use it. I don't want that. They want quality. They want quality that will last. It stands the test of time. That's what a BMW is. It holds its value.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's known for that. It's already positioned with that. So you're aligning your brand with quality. So let's talk a little bit about some of the mistakes that people are making, or the trends that you're seeing at the moment in terms of how people are using AI or how they're using social media. What are some of the things you're seeing, Katrena, that people are really doing? You're going, I wouldn't be doing that. That's really devaluing your brand.
Oh, gosh. Well, look, social media, I think people think that social media is the be all and the end all, and social media experts will tell you Facebook's everything, Instagram's everything, LinkedIn's everything, and like YouTube's everything, and you've got to go hell for leather on all of that. To me, I disregard all of that. I'm not into any of that. Yes, we do an appearance on those platforms when appropriate, and yes, we have a presence so that we don't look like we're not using them and that they're crickets. But really, people need to go out into the world. That, to me, over 25 years is where I get my clients from. That is where I meet my people. This is where I meet my tribe. And people can touch my heart. They can feel my soul. And that, to me, is the best way to get out there. Social media, you could get a random coming in going, oh, that sounds good. They book in for a free discovery session, and it's the lowest quality I've ever seen. So I don't bank on it. I don't wait around reacting to that. I go out and bring my clients home with me. And that, to me, has been my secret of my success. And I still stick to it to this day. Not saying social media doesn't work for some product people, but really, they're not going to be scrolling at midnight going, oh my God, Katrena Friel. Oh my God, what does she say? What? That sounds amazing. Boom. I'm in. I'm going to spend 20 grand with her. No, it doesn't happen like that. But when they see me on stage, when they hear me speak and they see what I'm about and they experience what I'm about, boom, 40% of the room are going to say, that's the chick for me.
Yeah, brilliant. It really is about that connection, isn't it? Connection and engagement, and being compelling with people that they can see themselves working with you and they can see themselves benefiting from being part of your world. I love that.
Yeah.
We're nearly at the end of our conversation. These conversations go way too fast. We could talk for hours, but I have the same question I have for all of our lovely guests who come on the show. If you could go back in time to any time in your life and give yourself some advice on something that would help you where you are today, what would that advice be?
Oh my gosh. If I go all the way back to my 20s, my little high-performing, hard-working Katrena. She was gorgeous. She just wanted to please people. But I tell you what, she wasn't very strategic. She was just the dog's body that would work and work and work and work. And before I was 25, I had had 2 burnouts already because of my work ethic being through the roof and my ability to sustain. So I was very strong, you know, able to go for hours and hours and hours with no breaks. I'd go back and have a little chat to her and say, you know what, darling, we're going to pivot you just a tad and make you way more strategic. And don't be the dog's body. Get rid of the work and start to step up. Whereas because I was so good at the work, I had to stay where I was. And the only way for me to get out of that was to leave and get the next job up and up and up and up. And that's what I did. But if I'd known that concept of strategic positioning inside of every job, I would have done a lot less work, a lot less burnout, and I would have probably, I would have had a very different career.
Yeah. Do you think it's that need to sort of try and be everything to everyone when you first step out and you just really struggle a little bit, flail about all over the place until you find your lane?
Yeah, there's a bit of that. I just think I was just such a good worker and I just really wanted to be useful. And that still is my mantra today. So that's what drives me, is I just want to be really useful to people. But now I've found my little lane. I've found my little way that I'm going to do that in the world. And that just suits me perfectly because it gives me the variety I love. It gives me the people that I love. And it gives me all these different projects without having to build 95 businesses for myself, which is what I used to do in the beginning.
I love it. Listen, if you've enjoyed listening to our discussion today, you can get in touch with the lovely Katrena Friel. Her company is called Becoming the Expert. You'll find the links below this interview, and you can book a free discovery session with Katrena to talk to her about where you want to position yourself as the expert and how to build a personal brand and build that profile to do exactly what she's done. Wouldn't you like to do that? That would be awesome. So book that session in with her, have a chat, and find out exactly how that might work for you. Katrena, it's been awesome to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. I've so enjoyed our conversation, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot more.
You bet. I can't wait, Lauren. See you soon.
Brilliant. Remember, guys, to get out there and be bold, brave, and audacious. Thanks so much for listening to the That's Audacious podcast. Remember, there's no place for modesty in business, and you do deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. For more episodes, please subscribe to the podcast on your favourite channel or follow us online. The links are in the description below.